Heard that.
Let's take a sip of water and then we can get started. Also, let me post a link on my Snapchat. What time do you guys have to go? So in case we need to end this.
Uh,
Doesn't matter for me. I just got to be at work at 1:30, so like
I was
1
gonna say we're
o'clock
not gonna make it to 1:30.
cut off. Yeah.
I was say, yeah. I mean, I thought I was gonna have to be gone by 11:30, but now I don't even know if I am. So
Well, I hope you're not.
yeah, I should be chilling.
I posted on my Snapchat saying triple header because it's the three of us.
Triple header.
Triple header.
Must watch.
Yeah, literally.
Tune in.
All right. Chris is in where again? Puticana. Let me see. I gotta see where he is again so I can say it. I think it's yeah, Puticana. All right. You ready?
Yeah,
So ready.
AB, you
I'm
ready?
locked in.
So ready.
I'm
All right.
locked
This is
in.
Well, we'll get started in 3, 2, and 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by actually not joined as always. I just rolled right into it because it's early in the morning. Chris is still away in Puticana. We have AB with us again, and today we are bringing on another special co-host, Zach Lambert. How we doing, fellas? Everyone say hello.
What's up? What's up? I'm
yo.
doing good. I'm doing
All right,
great.
so we're getting right into it. We're boiling it down. The Celtics lost. I'm they lost in a terrible fashion because they just came in. We're gonna chuck some threes, just like all the other losses. We're just gonna come in. We're not gonna cut. We're not gonna pass. We're not gonna play any defense. It's over. And they played zero defense in honor of Tatum. Um, it was it was pretty sad. The Knicks won. Props to the Knicks. How do you guys feel? What do you guys think about this series? Think it was the right outcome?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I mean, I don't think you could say it's the right outcome because obviously, the outcome had to be altered, after Tatum, but I think that I mean, New York came in. It looked like they were just mentally ready to be in the Eastern Conference Finals,
Mhm.
just because they don't shoot that well, and they came in, and it wasn't just I know you were talking about a lack of defensive effort. I just personally didn't see that as much. I mean, maybe in some plays here and there and whatnot, sure you're getting beat, but New York was hitting everything, and they were getting inside looks, outside looks, mid-range looks. They were getting whatever they wanted. I think they had 47 points with 5 left in the second quarter, which never happens with them.
Mhm.
So I think they just came in ready to kill, and it's sad for the Celtics, but I'm just happy that we got a new face in the ECF. I'm excited to see what they do. Shout out to them.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. It's like they smelled blood in the water. Coming home, Game 6. They knew this was if they were gonna drop this game and then go back to Boston, even without Tatum. That's a
We would have been
really,
some trouble.
yeah, that was a really rocky situation they'd be putting themselves in. So good on them for closing it out. And yeah, like AB said, I mean, Pacers Knicks is one of the longer lasting Eastern Conference rivalries, and it hasn't been that heated in a while. So it's kind of good to see two new faces that are past rivals coming back together in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's definitely going to be a great series.
Mhm.
Do you guys think I've seen a lot of talks on Twitter during the last game? It was, here's the Western Conference Finals, or here's the Eastern Conference Finals, and it showed like Halliburton and a bunch of flowers and butterflies, and then it showed the Western Conference Finals and showed Jokic in just like hell and purgatory. Um, is that how you guys view it? This I don't think the East is as weak as people say it is.
No,
All right? Let me phrase it this way: do we think the East, either of the teams, could possibly win the final?
absolutely. I think
Mhm.
that, and I think especially not enough people are taking Indiana seriously, and I say that because Don't get me wrong. Yes, they're not as good defensively as the other 3 teams that'll be in in the playoffs. Um, well, after the Western Conference Finals is done tomorrow,
Mhm.
or semis is done tomorrow. But they play faster than just about anybody. They can keep up with OKC pace-wise, and they can outscore anybody in the league. They can outscore OKC if it was just head to head for a hypothetical series. I mean, I don't know. I definitely trust other teams. Like if I had to pick if I had to pick a team to put my money on, and I'm saying I need this team to win the series, I would take the Knicks out the East. But like I don't know. I
Really?
think Indiana is a very real threat and could
Mhm.
legitimately win the finals. Like that's not like I don't know. There's the prospect of it. I think nobody's taking it seriously because like last season they were so like it was kind of a fluke. Like it was, but it wasn't. And now like they earned it and it's really here, but people are just kind of like, oh, the Pacers?
What makes it wait, sorry, I'm gonna pause you there. What makes it a fluke last year and what makes him earn it this year? What's the
I think
difference?
because last year, like the entire East Side bracket was all injuries. Like except for Boston, even Boston to an extent, like every team was hurt. Whether it was Cleveland, you missed Donovan Mitchell, Garland, and Jared Allen for several games of their series. You're missing Halliburton for several games of the Pacers series when they got to the end of it. Knicks, you're missing Brunson. Like it wasn't like maybe it wasn't just Indiana, but it was like last season, Boston just they kind of yes, they earned it, but they almost had it by default because like I mean, you had a lot of injured teams you were playing against, you know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I just don't think like I hate oh, just because the Pacers made it the 1 year, it's like, oh, everyone wants to be the new or everyone wants to point to the new Atlanta Hawks, you know, like saying this is the team
Yeah,
that's just gonna go make it 1 year and never make it back, and now I guess they made it again, so I guess it validates that run a little bit more. But
100%.
there's like, if they get and I don't think it's gonna happen because I think they're actually gonna beat the Knicks, but, like, if they get swept by the Knicks, are they frauds again, or is it still are they still earned it?
I don't think so. I don't. I mean, I don't really see that happening unless some type of catastrophic injury happens. But this team is going to be good and a contender in the East for a while. I really do think. And it's like I'm looking at their roster right now. They can go like 8 or 9 deep in the
They can
playoffs
go
with guys
11
that are
deep.
like genuinely like
Yeah.
really good NBA players. And it's like that's a rare sight for NBA like a playoff team.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't really have like another like I don't know. Halliburton is a great player. I don't know if he's the same level of superstar as like some of these other teams have, like an Anthony Edwards, or like I mean he's kind of in the same conversation as Brunson, but still, this team is just an insane level of depth, and that's
They
why
play
they're so
team
successful.
basketball.
And a lot of their guys are young too, so I don't know. I don't think this team's gonna be cooked if they lose to the Knicks or get like gentlemen swept by the Knicks. I think they'll be back.
I agree. That's what I'm trying to get at because like, I think there's a lot of disrespect for the Knicks and the Pacers at this point, just the whole Eastern
Mhm.
Conference. Um,
Honestly,
you
I'm
gotta play
pulling
who's in
hard
front
for
of
the
you.
East now.
What'd you say?
I say I'm pulling hard for the East to win it all. I don't care. Like, don't get me wrong. I kind of like support the Nuggets just because like I've liked Jamal Murray and his game for a while, and I like watching Jokic and his personality. But
Mhm.
like I don't care when it's finals time now. Like I'm pulling for the East, man, big time. I want us. I want our conference to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool because, like, I mean, you've had like Jokic is on the he's an MVP like the game 7 for OKC Jokic and I was gonna say Jokic and Nuggets is basically just like the MVP race down to one game. And so those teams are loaded. If you look at the stats, like both those teams have had 20-point per game like scores on for all of their players. Like I think the Nuggets, I think 4 times in the playoffs already. OKC only once, but in the regular season a bunch of times.
Mhm.
They're just loaded. And I guess we like the Pacers' depth. We like how much they're loaded, but nobody actually talks about how much they're loaded. Nobody ever talks
Mhm.
about like as one of these great teams in the league. And they were flying around. They were like the number 8 defense in the league to close out the season. And I don't know. I love how they play. Their assist numbers, the way that they pass the ball. And with the Knicks, they're playing great against Boston last night. When Mikal Bridges can just get to his spot and shoot over anyone, it's pretty spectacular to see. Um, when OG Anunoby and Brunson are playing together and playing well, like they are a fun
Mhm.
team, and they need to be talked about more than just like, oh, they upset Boston. Like they're a real contender, and I think they could upset. I think they could either one of those teams could win the finals, and I'm definitely rooting for it.
I 100% agree. Dude, I saw on the MVP point, I saw a funny tweet a few days ago, and someone was like, they should just dangle the MVP trophy over the court like a WWE ladder
Yes,
match, and just like
yes.
have them just duke it out, and whoever wins gets the MVP trophy. That
I think
game is
the
gonna be cinema tonight.
yes, that will be cinema tonight, and we're gonna get into that. The
Yeah.
I think the issue if you do that is Westbrook's gonna go up and grab it. Like, no,
He's gonna
Westbrook, it's
try and
not
jump.
yours.
He's not even
It's
gonna
not
focus on the game.
yours.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not yours. Um,
Yeah. Bro.
right, I mean, there's not even nothing to discuss with the Celtics game. Like, they got spanked. They was
Yeah.
over from the jump. Um,
Yeah.
they really were never in the game. There was never a moment where they had momentum. Um, it was bad. It was really bad. I turned it off to watch the UFL. The UFL went to overtime. That was pretty lit.
UFL football.
So let's
Yeah.
get into game 7. Nuggets in OKC have a spectacular basically they have a spectacular 2 minutes and win this game
Mhm.
for game 6. The Jokic has been he's been everything. He's been the coach, he's probably the GM, and he is running the floor. What do we think is going to happen here? I think OKC is favored by 8. They're favored by 8.5. I think that's ridiculous. But what do you guys think is going to happen in this game?
Oh my gosh.
I'd
I
I don't know. I was talking with some of my other friends about what like if I was to put some money on this game right now, who would I do it for? I I really trust Denver in a game 7 scenario more than OKC. Even in OKC, I still just this is like Murray and Jokic's like 6th or 7th game 7 together.
I think it's
I
like their
just trust
10th.
the
They're like 9
experience,
and 1,
man.
right? If I'm
Yeah.
There's something
I just
crazy like
trust the
that. Let me look.
experience, man. I do. So I think Denver might win this. I really do think that they might pull this out. OKC's players besides Shea really haven't shown consistently in this series that they can show up. J-Dub's had one good game and then shot tordates the rest of the series. Caruso's been really good off the bench. Chet had a really good game last night, but he's been all over the place. And Lou Dort's been shooting tordates all series too,
Lord
besides
hits.
game 5. So unless they can put it together like they did in the regular season, I really don't see them beating the Nuggets in game 7.
yeah. I I
Just to get
think
the record right, it's 4-2 Nuggets.
4 and
Uh,
2.
yeah, I mean, that's a good game 7 record.
Yeah.
And he averages 24, 15, and 7. Jokic. Jesus Christ.
I think with a true 8-point spread, Denver +8 is like the closest thing to like a gimme that you'll find right now.
Hammer
Uh,
that down.
and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe Brady in a little over 24 hours from now you can clip that and I'll look like the biggest idiot. But I
No,
truly
I agree
think
with you. I completely agree with you. I would put money 100% on Nuggets plus 8.5. I
yeah, I
think that's a
mean, I
great
just
line.
I think that like there's a legit shot like for every reason Lambo said that they win. But even if they don't win, like I think that to Lambo's point, OKC is very shaky right now in terms of getting to that or getting over that semis hump
Mhm.
and some guys are shrinking. and it's kinda concerning to see, but when you see them do clutch out their wins, it comes
Mhm.
through just, like, a few late shots from everybody. It's like SGA the other night, he finished with 29, but he made a few, like, huge shots late, and it was like everybody else was kinda contributing that same exact way. So, if they pull it out, I think it's gonna be a very close game and that
Mhm.
Denver +8 will still stand, but, I don't know. I like I like I don't know who I think will win. If I had to go with I don't know, my head is, like, almost 50-50. It's weird, dude, and it's really weird because there's obviously the whole OKC at home thing, but then there's obviously also the whole, Jokic is and Jamal Murray and even Russ, they've all been there, done this,
Mhm.
and they're ready. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know
they're
if you can look me in the eye and tell me that J-Dub and Chet are ready. And
I
like
Yeah.
agree with that. Like I
Games
think
been
that's
like I hate sounding like a unk, like this kind of unk talk. Like I know there's no number to base that beast being ready for a game 7 off of. That's like such a Skip Bayless thing to say, but it's facts. Like this is one of those games where there's that feeling that you either have experienced it or you haven't. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
well, and
There's
Jokic is gonna
absolutely a
show
mental
up.
factor. Yeah.
Jokic is
What you
gonna
say,
show up.
Lambo?
There's no there's no if, ands, or buts about that. If he has a bad game, that's the most shocking thing that I think that could possibly happen, is Jokic having a bad game tonight.
But even if he has a bad shooting night, he still has a good game in, like, so many other areas. Like, we saw it a few games this series where, like, he didn't shoot that great from 3, but he still, like, had a near triple double, or he still, like,
Oh,
was
that's
affecting
exactly what I'm
games.
saying. Like he won't have a game where he's like single digits in probably any category.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know,
I
man.
mean,
Yeah.
this
No,
the
go what's up?
scenario that this is the scenario that the Nuggets were in last year, funny enough, and I think that for OKC to win, they are gonna have to rely on their defense, and just like the Timberwolves did last year, and that's how they won that series. But I'm like looking at that game 7 last year, Jokic and Murray both had 34 plus points and they still lost. So I really think that if they want to win this series, OKC, if they want to win this game, they're just gonna have to get these other guys like Aaron Gordon and Russ and Braun. They're gonna have to make sure that they don't have some type of game changing performance. They're gonna have to just let Jokic and Murray do their thing and kind of just get those other guys out of their groove, especially Aaron Gordon. However, I did see his status is in doubt for this game, so that's a storyline to follow because he is injured now after game 6.
Oh, yeah, his
Mm,
status is still uncertain. It's
Yeah.
in doubt for game 7. That's huge.
that is
Diagnosed with
huge.
a hamstring injury. Yeah, he's a doubt from 14 hours ago. 4 hours ago, received disappointing news about injury.
Peyton
Not
Um,
Watson
good.
better be ready to kill.
Yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be a lot of Peyton Watson minutes. It's gonna be a lot of Christian Brown, and they need one of those guys to step up. It's really because Jokic's gonna be there.
Hmm.
You can expect at a reasonable expense that Jamal Murray is gonna be there,
Hmm.
and so now you need one guy to step up really, because if you get those guys, you can get those two cooking. You need about one more to outplay the OKC.
We just need
And
another Julian Strother game.
Yeah. It could really come down to his like it's kind of funny to say, but it could genuinely come down to Julian Strother having another game where he hits like three threes in a 2 minute span, and that'll win them the game.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's gonna be a crazy game.
definitely.
when you look up Julian Strother, there's the first article is from USA Today. It's who is Julian Strother? You should find out the exclusive. Um, Yeah, no, they need one of these guys to step up, and it could be like there's world where it's a Michael Porter Jr. game.
Hmm.
It maybe if Aaron Gordon plays, it's him or Brown or Westbrook, but it's gotta be like one and a half of the two or of the three that I just named. It's gotta be one and a half of
Yeah,
them. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be a fantastic game. If OKC wants to win, um, do we need a big Chet game? Is that like we need another 19 and 11 from him? I
I
mean,
think
maybe more than that.
I think they're gonna need obviously Shea's got to show up, and I think he will. And yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know. J Dub could have another good game, and that could be a big help. But I think if Hartenstein and Chet both have good games, Hartenstein literally is just going to need like a 10 point, 10 rebound, efficient game. And then if Chet can get you like 18, 19, a couple blocks, I think you can feel pretty good. But they've just got to be efficient, dude. I mean, this team has so many skilled shot makers. They just haven't been able to hit their shots. So if they can just have this one good performance where they can have some type of efficiency that they've been lacking the rest of the series, yeah. So it could be a plethora of dudes though, but I do feel the best about Chet having a good performance just because he's shown it in a couple games this series. So
Yeah, I think Hartenstein needs to get more rebounds here. 6 rebounds
yeah,
last game. He needs to get a double double.
Yeah.
And really help out Chet in the front court. Um, Jalen Williams also needs to play much better than he did last game. 6 points.
4 days.
He got 10 assists, 10 rebounds, but his shots were terrible and he could not hit
Tour
anything.
date.
What'd you say?
Tour date.
Four
Tour date,
days.
yes, tour dates. Um, and like when you get a Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, and Kason Wallace 10 points, you got your star's got to be there. Like, and your second
Hmm.
star is Jalen Williams at this point. Um, right? Don't you think so? I mean, it's probably Chet. I guess probably Chet's number two, and then but Jalen Williams he's just as important uh
He
as Chet.
is.
I feel like at this point.
As a perimeter defender and a scorer, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and they need him to like they need him to be Robin at most of the times, not
Yeah.
just not just Chet. So we have in the comments saying Adam Steen saying Russ legacy triple double would feed generations.
It would. It
It
would. That
would.
would that would be an all-time moment in NBA history to have Russ close out a game
I would
7
believe that they're
in
winning it.
OKC with a
Yeah, I was gonna
triple
say.
double.
Yeah, I would believe that they're winning it all if Russ does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, dude. And now with Aaron Gordon out, you put Russell Westbrook in that role. I mean, you put him in the dunker spot. You have him make a lot of good passes. You don't have him shoot the
This is
perimeter
why you
as
signed
much.
him. This is exactly
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. This is why you signed him. Um. All right. So if we're betting here, I would take OKC or sorry, Denver plus eight
Denver
and a half. Are we
plus
all
8,
are
yeah.
we all agreeing with that?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hammering that. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and I think last time we made predictions here, we were 0-2 on game sevens for the two game sevens that win. So I think we should just leave it at the spread because we all agreed on that. Call it a
Yeah.
day. All right. Um. So we want to talk about the Warriors.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we might as well, but it won't take too long. I mean, at the end of the day, all it was is really just, they lost Steph and ran out of gas. And it was sad seeing, Jimmy not be able to be the hero playoff Jimmy that he
Mhm.
was in Miami a couple of years ago. But I don't think that you're expecting him to at this age. They got him to be a great complimentary piece, and unfortunately, there's nobody better for him to compliment when Steph's out. And
Yep.
then it was pretty straightforward. I mean, Minnesota, as they were more talented, deeper, bigger, like,
What do the Warriors
just
do this offseason? They got to trade
I'd
Kaminga.
want
Yeah.
I don't I think I don't can you trade him or do you have to let him walk? Like I think he might just be at the end of his deal. or is he a restricted free agent?
He might be a restricted free agent where you'd be able to match him and then trade
That's
him,
what I'm
but
saying, yeah. And I think they'd probably let him walk.
so they really goofed that up then, huh?
They did screw
He
that.
had some good performances in this series.
Come
So yeah,
Yeah, no, Cumbuckets was a beast this series, dude. He'll get paid and he'll get 30 million from somebody.
Yeah, he's a restricted free agent at the end of the year, so they could technically match and um, trade him. But does that if
You
they
can't.
matched it, would that yeah, would that even work? I guess it would have to be like a
Nah,
sign and trade
you
type
got
of deal.
Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond. You got three max deals. You just pretty much gotta just ride with what
gotta let
you.
him go. Yeah,
You have to let him go.
So damn, they
he's
can't get
not
any
worth that.
value for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, and he's a good player, and they definitely mismanaged him for sure. But to Lambo's point, even so, it's not worth it. You just gotta have a team, like, and especially with what we saw from Golden State, like, post All-Star break, like, they were a contender, and if they had
Mhm.
been together all year, and if they had stayed healthy, maybe they would've won it all. So it's just like, you just sit on it. Like, you got about a couple more seasons to where you might win a championship. Just get the right rotational pieces and just build around Steph and Jimmy and Draymond,
So they
and
want to
then
keep him. Sorry to
me?
interrupt. No, they want to keep Kaminga.
Who said that?
The Warriors. The Warriors said it's a
Well,
two-way street. They're open to return, but it's up to Jonathan Kaminga.
I mean, obviously they're saying that now, but they don't have the money to keep him.
But why say like what are they? Who are they fooling here to say like why say that if they didn't want to keep him?
They told Clay they wanted, or they said that they would love to have Clay back. They knew he was gonna walk.
That's true. I guess that's a point. But if you're already benching the guy, why? I guess maybe because someone asked him and they had to
Mhm.
respond. I guess that would be the
Yeah.
reason why.
Say it's a PR response.
Yeah, that is it is weird. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I was just reading
No,
some
no, you're good.
articles and I was like, huh, that's definitely interesting because there's no way they keep him um with that stuff. And when you if you read the headlines, it's like all these headlines saying the same thing I just said, where it's a two-way street, and then there's one that just says, "What does Jonathan Kuminga look like on the Brooklyn Nets?"
Bro,
They really should,
Cam
dude.
Johnson or Cam Thomas
Yeah,
ass
dude. Oh
season. He's
yeah,
gonna have like 24
he'd be
game.
he'd actually he'd feel like he's like one of the best players in the league on Brooklyn. Like, bro,
I want the
We
I
Hornets
can't
to
let
take
that
20
go.
shots a
happen.
game. I take 20 shots a game. I score 25 points a game.
Yeah.
I'm goaded.
I want us to give them Miles in a sign and trade.
Oh, Brooklyn or Warriors?
Warriors.
You want like a cum
We'll
bucket?
give yeah, Miles for come bucket, and when we'd have to include something else, but
I think that'd be a good deal for for the Hornets. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Long term, draft Con, get cum buckets, and just go Con or go start cum buckets, bring Con off the bench, and then you got a solid little team.
Yeah. Yeah.
he's definitely I think Bridges would fit decently in in Golden State.
Hmm.
Like he
Yeah,
would be he'd be a good because he's not actually the centerpiece of the team like he is on the Hornets.
he's not even the centerpiece of our team. It's just like
He has to
he
be though
he
when the injuries
never.
are there.
Well, ever since like 29, that's what I was gonna say. Ever since like 2019, like when everybody gets hurt, Miles Bridges is still healthy. Like it doesn't matter, rain or
Our man.
shine, Miles Bridges will be playing.
Satan is there.
So it's like unless God forbid, yeah, he's in jail or suspended, he'll be playing. So that's all I'm saying. And to your point, he'd produce. He'd put up buckets, whether you want him off the bench, whether you want him in the starting lineup. He'll produce for you, and we just need to have like a direction. So that's what I want us to take a swing at old cum buckets.
I like
Mhm.
that. I like that. And what? He's still 23 years old. Like you're getting a young player.
Youngin.
You might
Yeah.
it's funny when you get the guy like that. I mean, he's been playing for like 4 years and it's like you basically just drafted him. Like you
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
like you basically just
A
drafted him at
reset
that
for the
point.
player. Yeah.
Yeah. Um So I think it's a good shot. That's a good shot for the Hornets. What other players do you think they need a center? They need probably a secondary point guard for the I'm talking about the Golden State Warriors. Um,
I'm
I
saying
I saw a report that said a name to watch for the Warriors, and it was Brook Lopez. Unk, but
Brooke, Brooke.
if
if if, if
Milwaukee
I like
decides to
Brooke.
blow it up, I like that.
If they're
yeah,
really doing this 2-year windows thing and they think that Curry and Jimmy are gonna be cooked after next year, then yeah, why not get Brooke?
Well, I'm
if
just
Brook
like,
Lopez at the start of the playoffs next year will be 38 years old, but
Al Horford,
you
bro.
know, yeah, I
well,
mean, he can shoot the three and he can block some shots. So
Champion.
yeah, yeah,
I'd
he's
say
a
the other
champion.
name to watch for Golden State should be Marcus Smart.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
I think
okay.
I think, decent, like, not super expensive contract. He's on
He's
Mhm.
like making
Washington.
12 million, right?
Yeah, he's on Washington. Like obviously teams like in that window of what Washington's doing is either we're gonna keep vets around to mentor the young guys, or whenever we feel trigger happy, we're gonna send them to a contender. And I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State wants to give up, like, I don't know, just something decently interesting for for Marcus Smart that, like, they just don't really need that much.
I mean, they could give him Moses Moody or Buddy Hield, or sorry, not Buddy Hield, or Kaminga, and I don't think the Warriors would feel bad about it at all.
That's another possible sign and trade, Jonathan Kuminga to Washington,
Yeah,
bringing back
Ooh,
I don't,
that's
Smart.
hard.
I don't know. Maybe because he's young enough, like he fits at the timeline with the rest of them. But I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does for the Wizards, honestly.
I mean,
But
he gets you buckets and makes you fun to watch. Like,
Fills the
you
Kuzma
actually have a
role
I'd
that
player
hope
that
so.
is
Yeah, I'd
empty
hope
right now.
so. I'd be down if he becomes that like because he has that attitude where it's just like I'm just as good as LeBron. He
Give me
yeah,
just
the
thinks he's
ball, get out of the
yeah.
way.
Yeah,
yeah,
yes, yes. So it could be you're right. That could be something fun to watch.
I'm
Um,
saying if you do. You got Bub, Bilal, Alex Sarr, him, and, somebody new at the 5. You have a team to
Derek
look
Queen,
forward.
number 6 pick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
Derek Queen
the
or
hometown
Kaman
boy.
could be a good pick there,
That's a
but
lineup and that's a real lineup in 5 years. It's a real lineup in 5
yeah, but
years.
even for this coming season, like, at least watching that team, you won't, like, feel like you're in basketball purgatory. I'm not
Yeah.
even because I could say the same thing about the Hornets a a ton of games, but even though I could say the same thing about the Hornets, like, Washington, a lot of games was actually like the product itself was, like, atrocious. Like, don't get me wrong, some games, like, especially, like the games they beat us, the games they had some, like, towards especially after the All-Star break, they looked not that bad. They looked pretty good, like,
Oh, they
product-wise.
had some confidence, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like, first couple of months especially, like point being, this new team should at least make you feel good about what's to come.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I get what you're saying, and that's why I
Yeah.
thought, like, if they ended up with a top 4 pick, then they would've really been in a decent position, but, um
If we're talking draft lottery, we should just talk about the insanity that happened with that shit right now. Because
AB
with
and
the
I talked about
Mavs,
it, but you weren't on it. Go ahead, go ahead, Lambo. Take
do
your
you guys
spin out. What's your
believe the
crack at it?
conspiracy? Do you guys believe the conspiracy theories?
We
The
broke it
Nico
down.
conspiracy theories?
What I heard after that
Oh,
pod that AB and I did on Tuesday is apparently, like, I was listening to Ryan Russillo. He had some guy on, I forget who was on it, but the guy that he was interviewing was in the lottery room
Uh-huh.
where they pull the balls, and he was like, "It's impossible to rig that shit. There's like a million people like looking over it, um, doing this and that." And I guess that's like, yeah, you could say that, but there still is definitely a way to rig it. Like that doesn't mean that's not the end all be all.
Mhm.
I was gonna say.
But
Mm.
I don't know. Like it's the theory makes it, it wraps it up easier than like they just had a 1% chance. And honestly, a 14% chance really isn't that much.
It's
No, it
not, but
isn't.
it's not, but it's the sequence of events. Like it's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
sequence of sure, the Mavs got the number one pick. The Mavs got the number one pick, sure. However, like everything else, like it was a 1% chance that it went the way it did entirely. So you got Dallas, and then you got San Antonio, and then you got Philly. Like, how did those three teams go back to back to back? Okay, sure, maybe
Yeah.
we'll call that math. But then we got to go from the further scope. And I think go into some of what Lambo's talking, or maybe hinting at in a sense of the actual so really, are we saying that Nico Harrison the whole time said I want to have a defensive centered team and I'm only gonna go after Anthony Davis? When I said I don't like how Luca's injury prone, I'm only gonna target Anthony Davis. Like it seems a little like some of the details just line up a little too much, is all I'm saying.
It makes sense of it all when you think of it that way, but it's also I don't want to think of the league doing that. So I'm gonna refuse. I think I'm gonna refuse and just say it's some terrible, terrible luck that ended up happening.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's.
Because I would
I
rather
really.
not want I don't want the league to think of the league like that. But it's like Cleveland with LeBron. You look at all the other ones. It's like the New Orleans getting Zion.
I
Um,
was just about to say that
yeah,
after trading Anthony Davis and then getting Zion the next year.
and then the Spurs getting Wemby. It's like with Greg
Yeah.
Popovich's last year. Um, they historically got number one pick, I guess. And people would be like, well, they were small market when they got Tim Duncan and when they got the Admiral, but then they weren't a small market because they won 5 championships. And now they're not a small market because they had the best coach of all time and 5 championships.
I I wanna. I don't know. I think there's a the lottery. I get what Adam Silver's trying to do, and I get he's trying to just abolish tanking, but I just don't think that that's ever like teams are just like it's really impossible to get teams to not tank. So I think he needs to be more open to the idea of I don't know. I don't know. I just think the lottery needs to be fixed, bro, because I as a fan would have loved to see Cooper Flag go to a team like a Charlotte Hornets or a Brooklyn or a Washington. Like I actually do want to see one of these generational prospects go to one of these like franchises that haven't seen winning in a long time. I just think that those fan bases deserve it, and I also think that it would just be fun for the league to have a superstar for an organization that hasn't had one in a long ass time. So I think I do think that they could fix the lottery and possibly make it easier for some of these teams that are shit to get that number one pick. My suggestion was to just limit the number of teams that are actually in the lottery. So like after like an 8 or a 10 team, they cut it off, and then it's just by record. But yeah, to see Cooper Flag in Washington, that would have been cinema, bro. Like cinema.
It would have saved the
I
nation's
mean,
capital.
Yeah.
yeah, just
New
to add on
president.
to your point, I think that um, if you caught kind of this similar segment on our last episode, I'd shouted out your hypothetical you left
Yeah.
in the group chat because yeah, like I agree. I think that having like that's definitely one alternative that would work way better than 14 teams, just simply shrinking it to 18, and you could easily just do like worst team has the best odds. Two after that have the second best odds. Three after that have the third best odds, and the last two have the worst. Like it could be really easy from that standpoint. And then I was like, also, if the league, if the league, I'll just bring it up again, just because I love talking about it. I think it's my favorite NBA hypothetical now. if the league really wants to go all in on like these fun, creative ideas to spice things up, just
Mhm.
do a play-in tournament for the number one pick. It would just be so fun. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, you give the worst four teams a week off just to go train, get right, get the boys healthy. Like imagine at the end of the year, we count down for that last week, get LaMelo and Brandon Miller to come back, and then go to Vegas and just have like a crazy tournament for Cooper Flag. Like that would be
Yeah.
nuts.
It would be
So
fun.
I'm just saying if they want to do something good for the league, there's ways that they can do it without like teams consistently getting screwed that don't need to get screwed, you know?
I completely agree, and I think we talked about that last episode. I think that's a great idea, and that's how it should be done. That would be awesome. Talk about it'd be just like the MVP trophy hanging over Game 7 tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like it would be sweet.
Also, am I tripping or was Game 7 supposed to be tonight?
I don't know,
I'm
bro.
not
Is it
sure.
tomorrow?
It's tomorrow at 3:30. I thought it was tonight at 8:30.
3:30. What we doing,
Yeah,
bro?
I know. Game 7 in
Late
the middle of the
afternoon
afternoon on a
game,
Sunday.
bro.
Yeah, I don't like that. And it's I mean, both those teams are semi West Coast, sort of. How many hours apart is OKC? They're gonna be playing at like noon.
One or two. I don't know. They won't be playing at noon. Um,
Probably at
I think
1:30.
it'll be like 1:30 their
Yeah, I was gonna
time.
say 1:30.
Um, but either way, I mean, I just I don't know. I think it was supposed to be this Saturday or no, I think it was always supposed to be this Sunday because we get the return of the dub today or yesterday, but it's seeping into today.
Okay, so we just don't have any games today. That's a shame.
No, we get the return of the dub. You better be tuned in.
Oh, return of the.
Caleb
That's what you
Clark
meant
and
by the
Angel
dub.
Reese.
Okay, yes, return of the dub. All right. So, yeah, I can fuck with the dub. I like the dub.
And we got some Asia Wilson going on at 1. Come on.
Oh,
I think
pink
it's
hair.
Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese too.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
that
was saying. It's
okay.
3:30. Yeah, 3:30.
That's
Hell
that's
yeah.
that's cinema. That's cinema.
Yeah, and yeah, Aces Liberty at 1. So we got Asia Wilson um versus what's her name? The goated um white lady. I don't know, I forgot her name, but
Sabrina,
she's
right?
great. No, no, well, yeah, her too.
Paige buckets.
Huh?
No,
Well,
Paige
her,
is on the
yeah.
Mavericks, right? Or the
Dallas
Dallas
team, the
team. Yeah,
Wings. Yeah.
I was
the
thinking
Wings.
of this, of the one that she literally this one actually, like, started, like, everything, like that 3-on-3 league. Why am I blanking on her name? She's definitely, like, the most one of the most popular. She was on UConn. Oh, whatever, screw it. Liberty players.
Brianna
Uh,
Stewart.
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's who you're
yeah. Yeah,
talking about. Yeah, that's who I was thinking
yeah,
of.
she's nice, dude. Her and, when Arian and Caleb and I would run WNBA 2K, Liberty are tough.
B
How is the
Stew.
WNBA 2K? I never run that.
I
Is
mean,
it
it's
fun?
just same thing as normal 2K, it's just the players don't jump.
Yeah.
Yeah. No dunking. That's
Huh.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's got to be fun. This Caitlin Clark probably cooks in that, right?
Yeah, but, like, it's just like WNBA now, I mean, like, for guys like me who've just been predisposed to this great product to the NBA, like, yes, it's easy for us to kinda shrug it off like I did most of my life, but when you actually watch some of these games, like, especially, like, now that Caitlin Clark's there, like, that you have players that you can watch, it's actually evolved as a product a
Oh
lot,
yeah.
I'll say that, like,
Yeah.
some games, I will say, admittedly, don't get me wrong, are not great, but like, and there's still the blooper reel moments, of course, of just the
Yeah.
layups that go from one side of the rim to the other. But I mean, the NBA has its moments too. And hey,
Shaq and a fool.
if they're doing their best and the product's getting better, is all I'll say. And it's been about 20 years. It took the NBA a while to get their product up and running. So I'm applauding them and I'm happy for them. And I think that the fact that there's games that are actually good and that we're actually like talking about and looking forward to watching is a cool thing.
It is a
So
cool thing.
shout out to him.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely shout out the W. While we're talking about the W, uh, I always thought about this. I never brought it up on anything or brought it anywhere, but we might as well talk about it now. Um, Asia Wilson, if you like the pink hair, I like the silver hair a lot. The
I like
silver
the
hair,
silver
I
hair.
messed with the silver hair, but I don't know if I like the pink. I think it's the bangs and the pink hair. Like the pink hair alone would have been fine. I just don't know about the bangs. Maybe I'm being very judgmental.
I like the gray hair just because I love
The
like
silver
when
was tough.
players like I always think it's cool when players like do like a hair like color that's like their team color.
Yeah, I
You
was
know,
gonna say it
like
matched the team. It matched the team color. Yeah,
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 like
that's true.
I thought that was cool when
like
like
Marcus Smart.
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I I was gonna say Kai Jones.
Jones. That wasn't a Hornets thing. He just had blue hair, right?
I don't know. I think it was a Hornets thing. I think the
No,
opposite of
he had the exact same like hair color as the Hornets. The Hornets blue. Like
yeah, I think what you're thinking of is Jeremy Sohan. Jeremy Sohan would just
Jerry,
like
he had like green hair, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
he's done green, blue, I think
like
red, like
Rodman. Yeah.
yeah, he'll
Dude,
and he
Kuzma
just
dyed
does
his
it pretty
hair.
well.
He like bleached his hair, and that's when I knew he was truly a terrorist. That was when it was over.
Yeah, Blondie. He's a
Yeah,
bro. Yeah.
for real. All right. Let's Lambo, you give us your prediction for the NBA Finals. AB and I did it last episode, but while we're wrapping
Oh
up
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the NBA,
Bless us,
I
Lambo.
had OKC. I kind of don't feel good about it. This kind of the second I said it, I didn't feel good about it. But AB took the Wolves, so I didn't want to be the same as AB. I kind of like the Wolves a lot too.
If you already spoiled our West Side, I have Knicks T Wolves.
Damn.
Okay. Um. So I guess I'll just give my conference. Yeah, I guess I'll just give my predictions of what's gonna happen tomorrow. So I do think I'm gonna put money on Denver to win the game. So I think it'll be Denver and Minnesota, and then we already have Knicks Pacers. Um. I really do think that whoever wins this game 7 is gonna win the West. So I'll probably pick Denver coming out of the West if they are to win this game 7. I think Minnesota's roster was better built to beat them last year with Karl Anthony Towns.
Carl.
Um, I really do think with how good Julius Randle's been playing offensively, and I think he can continue playing that well in this series. I just think defensively, losing the size they had with Cat, um, to be able to throw him at Jokic and have Gobert roam the paint, I don't think that they can do the same thing with Randle, throwing him on Jokic and giving Jokic some type of. You can't really give him a like fits, but you can at least have a bigger guy on him that could maybe cause some trouble on a few possessions. So I think they'll beat Minnesota. I think Denver's going to make it to the finals, and I think it's going to be the Knicks. I really do. Um, I'm going to believe in the Thibodeau process of just playing his starting five like 45 minutes a game
It's worked
until
out so
somebody
far.
gets hurt. So I think the Knicks have the better starting five. I think they have the better and the starting five is going to be playing like 42 minutes a game. So I think that they're going to win. I think playing in Madison Square Garden and having the home field advantage for 4 of those games is going to be
They'd be the
what's going to
most
make the
wild
series.
Madison Square Garden's ever been,
Yeah,
probably ever.
absolutely. So I think it's going to be Knicks. I think it's going to be Denver. Um, I think Denver would win that too. So I'm picking the Nuggets to win the finals. That's my pick right now. Is
That's a
Denver.
what I this is a good. We have a good
Evolution's
four. Actually, technically, I guess right now we have 5 teams left standing. We have a great last 5.
Dude,
Um,
and I could really see any one of these teams winning the finals
yes,
though. I really could, which
agreed.
is
yeah,
awesome. It's
it is
awesome.
awesome,
Yeah.
and it's there's so many individual matchups within these matchups of the teams that create just like there's gonna be so many so many different there's so many different realities of this how this NBA playoffs
Yes.
ends
And
up.
I saw after the Knicks won and moved to the Eastern Conference Finals, people were like, the best scenario storyline wise that we could get in the finals is Knicks Timberwolves. And I saw like
Carl, the Carl
Carl going
finals.
back to New York, Julius going or Carl going back to Minnesota, Julius going back to New York, Thibodeau going back to Minnesota.
Yeah,
Um,
that would be cinema.
Nova Knicks. I mean, all those guys are playing against each other, dude. Like that would be so much fun storyline
Dude, they'd
wise.
be doing the commercial, the goddamn commercial of the Nova Knicks
It would
during the
air at every
finals.
commercial break,
Yes,
bro.
yes. Dude, that
And I
that would be
really do
cinema.
think,
I
I
like
really
that.
do think it would be best for the league if Anthony Edwards were to make the finals because I really do think that he could be the next face. I think he is America's face of basketball for the next decade or so.
NBA's gonna
Personality wise
hate
and
that.
play style wise. I mean,
You see Rudy Gobert, most recent news headline about him? He's
about
take
Ant,
No, he's taking Rudy Gobert. He's taking a book off Ant's page, a page off Ant's book, and yes, he's leaving his pregnant girlfriend.
TMZ, Rudy
Rudy,
Gobert
Rudy,
breaks up with pregnant girlfriend, tells her to leave home with 1-year-old.
Oh, I did see that too, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
bro, him and Anthony Edwards, birds of a feather, fly together, bro. Come on, bro.
That's how you know he's locked in on the playoffs, though, bro. He's just like,
Yeah.
get out of my house. I need to win a title
I I need you to leave.
Yeah.
with the kid. With the kid.
It reminds me of that text I've been seeing going around Twitter that's like, "Man, see, I just saw something in you. I knew you were so calm and collected that you would make a great single mother." It's like,
Bruh.
Uh, no, I agree though with what you're saying. I think that it's even if the NBA doesn't want Anthony Edwards to be the face of the league, he's like Batman. He's the face of the league that they deserve, and the
He's
city needs him.
he's such a fun player to watch, and he is hilarious, bro. He is unintentionally one of the funniest players I've ever watched. Like been
Oh
able to
yeah,
like,
he keeps it real.
yeah. I love it. I love it. He is so I really do hope many wins against Denver, but yeah, like I said, the size that they lost in Cat dude, all props to Julius Randle. Before this year, he was like one of the most notorious playoff droppers,
I was
and he
gonna
has
say,
been
let's give a
out
shout
of
out
this
to
world.
Julius. Julius.
But he's too small to defend. Like you can't throw him at Jokic and feel confident about that, like they did last year with Cat. And you don't feel confident about it, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
Cat's a big ass player. He could give Jokic a fit at least in the paint. And Julius is just gonna get back down every possession, and
Yeah,
Jokic
and
is gonna
Rudy's
have
gonna
his
get spread out, and he's gonna get
yeah,
killed on the perimeter.
yeah. So, but that's my prediction: is Denver, New York, and I think Denver will beat them. Um, New York in the finals. That city will burn down when they make it to the finals. I swear.
Yeah, it'd explode.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, this is a I love all these matchups. I could like I would think Pacers Minnesota would be a great matchup. I think
Hmm.
Pacers Nuggets or Thunder would be a great matchup. I think the Knicks Nuggets or Thunder or Timberwolves would all like they would all there's we're getting nothing but goodness here, and it's gonna be some fun basketball coming in the next two rounds.
Pacers Thunder would be a cool matchup too, just because of how deep both teams are. You're gonna see like 16, 17 guys playing every game in that series.
Well, and I think that you'll see a bunch of guys that like and we know of them because we're watching, but like a
Yeah.
lot of guys that like people don't know of. Like it's gonna be a lot of
Yeah,
guys that like
because the casuals are gonna tune into the NBA finals and they're gonna be watching
who's
they're
Benedict
gonna be watching like
Mathurin?
Cason Wallace and like Obi Toppin playing like 20 minutes a game. And
Yeah,
yeah,
to us, those guys are normal names, but to other people, they're gonna be like, who the fuck are these guys?
yeah,
And I think that's awesome because they're really good players.
yeah,
completely agree. Completely agree.
Yeah.
Are we think we got everything with basketball?
sure.
I think so, yeah. I
All
think we
right,
covered it all.
let's AB, you want to talk about Jordan Hudson? Take the reins here.
Oh, dude, I just think it's funny, man. I think this whole Chapel Bill saga is just starting off. Um,
Is this the
it's like
biggest legacy ruiner of anyone's career?
I just who knows, man? Just 'cause it's funny because like he's doing so well on like the recruiting trail, like
Uh-huh.
as expected. Like I think they're like eighth or ninth in next year's high school recruiting class already, which is obviously, props to him for that. But like it's just so funny how like this has become like such a big story to the point where somebody even tweeted that like excuse me, was like somebody even tweeted that like there's a very real chance that he might not even coach a game. And like I don't know, it's just it's madness. It's just such a crazy like I don't know, she's
Yeah, isn't there
how
something like uh after June something he can like they can cut him for they can cut him for like a bunch of saved money?
yeah.
That would be crazy. That would really truly
Obviously they
be.
won't cut him, but like he could quit his job if he really wanted to.
I really feel bad for Bill, man. I really do. Cause like I think like they had asked him in one of those interviews if he had like seen the backlash he had been getting on social media, and he was like, I don't use like social media. I really don't think he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
He's just an old head. It's like
See, is this elder abuse?
it is, bro. Like people. I saw a theory of um like she doesn't want people to know how they met because she was like a prostitute, and I was
I
like,
saw that
bro,
too. No, it's because she was like 19 when they met.
dude, this is
I
elder
don't know what's
abuse.
worse.
Well, but she's done that. She's like been in this kind of relationship with another dude like around this age before though, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it was another 60-year-old head. Um I don't remember what was his story about. But
Yeah,
is she,
what's
yeah.
that all about?
Okay, like what's the crazy is if week 1 comes by or week 0 college football, um what if she's just like on the sidelines like calling plays?
She's got a headset on.
Yeah. Like we're gonna see her. We know we're gonna see her week 0. She will be on camera at some point in
Ugh.
Chapel Bill.
That's what UNC's got to decide, man. Is do they want to have to? It's like, do you want to put up with this circus media wise because she is going to be on camera multiple times every game? Like that is a massive
He's the
storyline
Shadur
that they.
Sanders of girlfriends.
Yes, but at least like Shadur was like a good like football player. Like you could put up with it because he's gonna perform. Like Jordan Hudson's just like Taylor Swift without like the success,
Songs.
bro.
Yeah, songs. It is it is truly something. It's unheard, like, I've never seen anything like this, and I'm so glad that he is not the Patriots head coach right now. If
Yeah.
this was going on with the Pats, I would be losing it. Be like, "What the hell is" like, because like, Bill's whole thing was, like, "Do your job, no distractions, like, focus on football." Like, how does this focus on football?
Yeah, he's just
You're
stuck
wearing a
this
Navy
way.
shirt that has holes on it. You look like you don't even get out of bed anymore, Bill. Come on.
You know what UNC should do? They should be like they should give him an ultimatum and be like, "Look, we want you
It's us or her.
to be our coach. Like, get rid of her or we're getting rid of you." And he has to make that fucking decision, bro.
Apparently, that's why like Hard Knocks is not with UNC right now. It's because of her.
I was excited for that, man. That was gonna be an interesting,
That
like,
was
to see the
surprising to me just
inside
because
look.
of like, well, because you never
Yeah.
saw anything about Belichick running anything, you know? Like
No.
he always would he would never be media. That was always the weirdest part about this whole thing. It's like he was always the guy that wouldn't talk to the interviewers. Like he wouldn't answer the questions. We're on to Cincinnati. Like that's how
It
little
was
information he
the
gave.
shortest, simple, like,
But now he's
answers he
like
would give to every question,
Now he's
yeah.
holding up her he's wearing a fishing man costume. He's holding her up on her feet like she's 12. Um she's like they're like 50 years apart. They're like 50 years apart.
Yeah,
Elder
he
abuse,
literally
man.
could be your grandpa.
I think I'm on Lambo's side. I think this is elder abuse. I think she needs to be arrested. I'm
Ugh.
Weird, bro.
gonna
It's
look
so
up. I haven't seen anything since the fake banning. Um I'm gonna see if there's anything new. Um Shuts down questions about Jordan Hudson again. Dwayne Hudson plays victim. Man, I love headlines. Um, Rob Gronkowski called him a hypocrite. Like, see, this is bad. This is bad for Belichick. This is very like his legacy is getting just cooked. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like Rob Gronkowski calling him a hypocrite now. Like this, when you go back at it, like, and when you think about it, kids growing up, Patriots haven't won in since 2018, 7 years. Kids growing up who care about football, they're not gonna even remember Belichick as like this Super Bowl winner. They're gonna be like, oh, the guy who dated the 20-year-old, that guy. He
Hmm.
went to UNC and probably, who knows how it ends up, but didn't win anything. Wow, like that, like he's just tarnishing everything that he had.
I mean,
One of the
it's
greatest coaches ever could
yep.
be seen in a totally different light after these next couple months. Honestly, I mean, yeah, it'll be
I was
interesting to see.
I was just gonna say most importantly that as soon as UNC like falls into their shortcomings, like Bill's cooked. Like if they have
If
a
they're
three or
trash
four
and she's
loss,
on the sidelines, like he's out of here.
that's what I'm saying. Like if they're a 3 or 4 loss team, and especially if they lose an ACC game that they like objectively shouldn't lose, they're gonna start getting the questions, and Bill's gonna start getting asked like, are you as locked in as you're supposed to be? And that's never a good thing
Hmm.
No, I completely agree.
for the
Um,
players, for him.
no, it's one of the strangest stories I think in sports history,
Yeah,
honestly.
for sure.
Um, all right, we want to get anything else in college stuff? We got written down. Um, let's talk about the AB. Give me some hope for the Carolina men's basketball team. You got any insight on any of these guys? I haven't done my due diligence yet. I've seen the recruits that we've gotten, and I've seen that like most of them are from, or three of them are from that OTE team that won the championship. Um,
Yeah.
but do you have any scoops on them?
I mean, we're banking on guys with potential to pan out, and we need several of them to pan out, which is great. But we don't have a lot of proven talent. Our transfers are the same. There are some guys that if they pan out, they actually could be pretty good.
Michi,
But
Beach.
yeah, we got another launcher in Michi back, and it's literally, thinking of Eli Ellis and Michi on the same team is already giving me a headache. But
short
you know, I'd I'm leaning towards, us not making the tournament again, but hey, you never know. Like if I just think I think you need that European big to pan out and be like actually solid, and the shooter to be good too. I think you need Eli to be ready to be at least a productive college basketball player, which I'm
uh,
not sure if he is or not. He could come in and be a
Can
bucket. I
he be
mean, the
Trey
kid's
Young?
20 years old.
I was gonna say, can he be Trey Young?
I'm I don't think year one by any means, but he could. You never know. I mean, he's I don't know. Again, I mean, he is 20 years old, like I said, and then so you would hope, but
I didn't
I
realize
don't know.
he's 20. That's kind of old. It was
It's
kind of
very
unk
old.
already.
It's very old.
So, all right, he's 19. I guess he'll be 20 coming in next year. Um, yeah, he's like just as old as Rob Dillingham.
it's not like a bad thing though. I mean,
No, it should be. It actually should help him in college.
yeah, in college basketball, you want your guys to be like
Yeah,
on
I'd
the
rather him
older
be
side. I
20 than
mean, he's
18. If he was
yeah.
18, I'd be worried. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Lambo. Keep going.
No, I didn't have anything else to say. I was just like,
Okay.
dude, I don't. It's like what kind of like how should I view his stats in the OTE league? Is that like a real like like is that a legit league? Because he was putting up 32 points a game in that league. Like,
I don't know. AB, do you know? Like, I know they had. Did he play against the Thompson twins?
I'm not sure. If he did, it would have been a couple years ago, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think Eli's excuse me,
Bless you.
been with the league since its creation. Thank you. But I don't know.
All
I don't
right, I
know.
have a
Go ahead.
so Eli has played against the Thompson twins. He also played with them his first year in OTE. They were on the same team and won the title together.
Tough, tough. Bless you, AB.
Thank you.
Oh, so he has 2 OTE titles. That's kind of sick.
All right, so the first video I see here, the title of it is in quotes, "He doesn't pass." And then Eli Ellis and Thompson twins talk shit to each other. Oh no, it's about Rob Dillingham. Never mind, never mind, never mind.
I was gonna
He doesn't
say I
pass.
I don't think he does pass though. I mean, I actually in this later season, apparently like somebody said that to him, and then he got like 10 rebound or 10 assists the next game.
He's a bucket, bro. So if you're hitting your shots, bro, you don't need to pass. I mean,
No, he is a bucket. I think he's tough. Um, it'll be, he's a chucker though. I know what AB's talking about. Him and Michi are
yeah.
gonna be definitely if they're not hitting their shots, they're gonna look like the Celtics, where they just don't move, just hit miss 3 pointers. Um, I don't know. I always thought like he was committed to us so long ago, and I had no idea why. Like it's I just he just like fucks with Lamont. He
Yeah,
just
and
mad.
I really don't understand what it is, but like at the same time, if you can get like some of these guys to buy into the Paris system, like we actually could be all right. But that's just the problem. It's like I don't know, it's hard to get guys that want to do that during you know, when you're getting new guys for a new system every year.
So that goes into a bigger discussion of um is this like the transfer portal you just talked about it. The transfer portal is um you can't keep these guys for very long. So is that killing is that killing the sport here? That's a simple question. It's a broad question that's been talked about a lot, but it's a simple one.
Over time, yeah, but I don't think it's for the reason that we're kind of currently talking about though. I think it's because of the way that it affects everybody because college
Mhm.
basketball goes far past, you know, the best 20 programs. And I think that the way that we have to look at it as a detriment is that when one player or when one team becomes good and they have one player that's really good, then they can lose that player and receive no compensation for doing that. And every other major league in the world that brings in, you know, billions of dollars, when a team loses a player that makes a big impact, they receive some type of credit for that. And teams like, you know, whoever lands PJ Haggerty, just as a small example,
Mhm.
you know, Memphis will suck, and you know, there's nothing that they can do about it because they, you know, a bigger market team said, "Screw it, we want that kid," and it's going to apply to everybody. It applies to all these teams. I mean, sure, like the kid from Quinnipiac went back, but like guys like him go off in their conference or for their team, and then automatically a team like UConn or Duke or whoever else wants them, and
So the big bucks.
yeah, and then the mid-major team is just screwed.
Yeah.
And if the mid-major is good, it's like we were talking about last night because I had a couple buddies that went to High Point. Like, you know, they had a dominant season in their conference, and instantly Alan Huss is back with Creighton as the coach in waiting, and High Point players transfer to Creighton, and it's just college basketball is a consistent 1 year deal now. It's
It
always
is.
it's how it's going to be, and until if it stays this way 5-10 years from now, mid majors just won't have college basketball teams, and that's sad, and it's really sad, but it's just how
Yeah.
it's going to be because there's going to be no funding for it.
If we yeah, if there's no changes made to the transfer portal and I guess it kind of coincides with each other with NIL money and transfer portal. But if there's no changes with like restricting how many times a guy can just go into the transfer portal, it's just 1 year. You're gonna change your program every year. And I mean, honestly, thinking about it now, I feel like there's kind of an easy fix where you could just say you're only eligible to go into the transfer portal one time in your college career. So maybe that could make it easier, but still, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
It just
and
seems like if you have an outstanding season on a mid-major team, you're just gonna leave and go somewhere where you can compete for a title, and you're gonna get more money there too. So maybe
yeah,
there isn't a
it's
good fix.
it's hard to, and I kind of like the idea of um doing one, you get one transfer and that's it. 'Cause then,
Yeah.
like, people want to transfer. That's understandable. And I think you can have a subsection of that where if your coach gets fired, you could transfer. Like, I think
Hmm.
that's always fair. Like, if your coach leaves or your coach gets fired, you can leave or transfer. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, they need to have some limit on it where you can't just be, and they used to have it in I don't know if it was for basketball too, but in football where you had the red shirt
Yes.
when you transferred.
Hmm.
And I think it's kind of lame too because you waste a whole year of eligibility. But I do like, there should be some, or there should just be contracts. Like, at this point, you have to play for our
Yeah.
team for 2 years. Like, that's the contract. We pay you for 2 years, and you can't transfer or even think about transferring for 2 years. And if you want to, you can either, like, you can go to the NBA whenever if you think you can go to the NBA, but you're not leaving this school unless you're um, finishing out your contract.
I
I was
just
just sorry. No, let me go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make a quick point. I just like I'm trying to think about it in like a professional league way. Like imagine if the NBA was just like,
They're
yeah,
just
if you
one
don't
year
want to play
deals.
for this team, you can just enter your name into the trade portal and any team can get you if you want. Like,
And you have to get it, basically have to get you too. Like,
yeah. It's like at
yeah,
this point,
it'd be
should these
1 year
players
deals.
just be signing like contracts with these organizations, like with these schools? Like, because then you're getting held there, but it's also tough because you can just play 1 year and go to the draft. How can you sign like a 3 or 4 year contract with a college basketball team
Well, that would
and
be
then
the
just go
opt
straight
out.
to
That would be
the
the
NBA?
only way out, right? It'd be like
Yeah,
that. This is the only way out of the contract is to get drafted by the NBA.
yeah. I don't know. It's
Think that
concerning.
yeah, it is concerning, and I think that like there is like a solution that's pretty easy for and obvious for all sides that works, but the NCAA just doesn't want to act for whatever reason. And I think that all that is players become paid employees by the university. They all make the same rate based on what year they're in, and outside of that, NIL is still a thing. You can still appear in commercials, sign brand deals, sign local deals. If like your name is generating money, you should still get paid for that. And players should get paid equally by their universities because that makes it fair. That makes nothing enticing from other schools. And the boosters aren't what's doing the paying. That's really the problem in today's era. The problem is that we'll have a number one quarterback recruit or number one overall recruit of his class. He's a quarterback. He can throw the ball 90 yards. The kid's one of the more gifted kids we've ever seen. And he goes to Michigan because Dave Portnoy can rack up the money. And that's what's unfair about it because players decide where they're going based on what boosters or what schools have the richest alumni. And that's unfair. So if you make that illegal by the NCAA, this all clears up and becomes a little bit easier, and
Mhm.
players don't have any reason to want to transfer to another school that's paying them more if schools can't pay other players more. If all payers or if all schools and like sure and say like and we can even say like okay, say a PJ Haggerty goes from Memphis to NC State. Okay, well the ACC generates X amount more money than I forget what conference Memphis is in, but then you pay that tax
baby.
to Memphis if you're NC State. Like you just give them a little bit of a like we're the ACC, we make more money than because you're Memphis. We'll pay you some for your transfer. Like this is it's a no-brainer if we had action, but the NCAA refuses to act, and it's like, okay, well, we have ways that players can still make NIL, players can still get paid the way that they're deserved, yet they're not going to get, offers from other schools to leave.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if we work together on it, it's a very straightforward solution, in my opinion, anyway. I don't
We
know.
we have a comment saying NIL shouldn't be a way for schools to outright pay their players, in my opinion. It should be
Yeah.
used for players to be able to get sponsorship deals based on their likeness. Which
And
I
that's
thought
that's
was
why,
Absolutely.
the was that not the original intention of
yeah,
NIL?
that's pretty much my entire point because it's like if like my entire point is that if I'm Cooper Flag, right? I should be able to sign with New Balance to get a Gatorade deal. And if I'm generating lots of money for my school, I should get paid by my school. However, if I'm Cooper Flag, I shouldn't have boosters from schools competing for me to sign there based on which school has the richest families that own them.
Yeah,
That that that
agreed.
that's the difference.
Yep.
And we just got to get to that space. And all schools
We've lost the plot.
Yeah.
like it shouldn't be like oh, I might get 3 million from Kansas,
Or
but
like
I
the number
might
one
get
recruit went to
from
BYU, right?
UConn.
Because all the Mormons had all that money.
Yeah, but it's even crazier what they're doing because they're just turning themselves into like an NBA training powerhouse. They don't even care about school anymore. They literally give you an athletic regimen from the moment you step on. If you haven't read it yet, definitely I think it was The Athletic put out a great article on what BYU's done with their college facility. But yeah, it's literally like they have their students that are they're literally considered like basketball students. They'll take like classes about like running their own social media and doing all this stuff that like prepares them for the league.
Oh, for like
It's
NBA.
crazy.
Yeah. That is crazy. Wow.
Yeah. So it's just like I don't know. And like BYU's smart about this stuff. Like
Yeah, and that's and
'cause-
that's that's the way to do it. If you're like you can't blame the college team, and it's hard to blame the teams, the player.
no,
It's hard to blame anyone in the scenario besides the NCAA. The only
right,
person you
because
really blame is the people at
until
the
the
top.
NCAA wants to act, this system is so fundamentally screwed that if you have a team do what BYU is doing, they're going to capitalize.
Oh yeah.
It's like buying into stocks when they're dipping. It's like everybody else is getting out. So if you have this one team that's saying, "Screw it. We're actually going to play by these new rules that suck." But we might become pretty good when we would never become that good at college basketball any other time or way.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, they're using it to their advantage. But as Adam Steen says in the chat, it has turned into a bidding war for teams,
It
yeah,
and it's
has.
not. That's not what the intention was supposed to be. You're supposed to
yeah.
get a way to get your players some money.
It was
Yeah,
supposed to be for them to be able to make money off of their name, which they deserve. But now
Hmm.
it's just getting out of hand. Yeah, and schools are just throwing money around because they can.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Is that all we got? We got anything else? You just want to mention anything else? I think we got a pretty good pod here.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Packed.
yeah, I mean, I'll take one last look at the notes. I mean, I think, oh, I mean, yeah, I didn't, if do you guys feel like um anybody any combine or early lottery news has been interesting so far?
I just feel bad
Um,
for Colin Murray Boyles.
yeah,
That video
him.
was bad.
I saw, and this isn't a knock on how I view him at all, but I saw Derek Queen had like one of the worst combine scores. You know how like the NFL combine has their like relative athletic score?
Yeah.
Yeah.
they have like that. They have that for basketball, and Derek Queen put up some stinky numbers.
No,
Um,
no.
I don't think that's gonna impact how he's drafted at all because I don't really think he we kind of know he's not some special athlete. I think he's a stud, but I did think that was interesting that he put up some stinky combine numbers, athletic wise.
Yeah,
The Brome vertical was the best video so far.
Dude,
that was funny.
dude, I was all right. So I have a basketball group chat with one of my old middle school teachers, funny enough, and he he was like, back in my day, I had a 34-inch vert, which is higher than this college athlete who just won
Oh
player of
my
the year.
God. That's
My middle
hilarious.
school English teacher had a higher vert than this guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw there's this guy in this story that of course I've been following closely. This guy named Cedric Coward transferred from Washington State, or he started out D3 and works his way up to Washington State last season. Only plays 8 games due to injury, but he's like 6'6", 220, shot or put up like 18 a game from 40% from three. And Duke got him, but he was also in the draft. And apparently teams are like loving him so far.
Oh, so you're
And
worried Duke's
apparently,
gonna lose him.
yeah, apparently he's like gonna stay probably. Like apparently he was sixth out of 10 in like the top 10 3-point shooters in the combine. So I was like, oh, dude, it's probably cooked.
Um,
Because that's
That's
a,
sick though.
yeah,
It's a
because
good
yeah,
story.
no, it is a good story. Shout out to him. If, hey, man, all for betting on yourself, all for it. Don't get me wrong. But, so it looks like there's been a few crystal balls put in for this guy named Dame Sar from Italy to go be a Blue Devil next year. Um, Could be
I like
interesting. Dame Sar looks he's played in the Italiana's, I think it's called Series A League, and he's putting up he's solid. He's like a more refined Isaiah Evans, if you guys know Isaiah Evans.
Yeah.
Um
Does Duke have a big name this year?
yeah, the
Boozer.
Boozer twins.
Oh,
Yeah.
they have both of them. I forgot.
Yeah. Cam
That
Boozer's
they're
sorry,
playing on the same team together?
they are. One's a point guard, one's a big man.
That's so
Ugh,
sick.
yeah.
Has
Yeah.
that ever happened before?
I'm not sure, but I'm excited
That's
for
really
it.
cool.
Yeah, the lobs are sweet, like, brother to brother lob, come on now.
And Cam is better than Cade Boozer, right? Or is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
Cade's a
but, like,
four-star, Cam's five-star, number three in
Cam's
the
number one pick, right? Or close to it.
it's
yeah.
like next like I texted you, next year is likely gonna be off fit, like, because Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, and AJ Debance are all, like, amazing at their positions, so it's just
Uh-huh.
like I
It's
mean,
tough.
maybe college comes around and one of the 3 ends up just being an absolute animal compared to the others, but it's looking right now like all 3 are just so good in different ways.
It's tough. That's real
Yeah.
tough.
No, Cam Boozer is good though. He like his and I hate to say it, but his prototype is literally like Apollo except a slightly less like post footwork bag kind
Uh-huh.
of refined player at this point.
Funny because
But
it's like Tatum, Paulo, Cam all seem like similar players.
in a sense, yeah, I mean, can like obviously Tatum's just more of a wing, but yeah, definitely like in that stretch four with certain guard capabilities, but also can just wreak havoc down low. Like I don't know. I think Boozer averaged like 16 boards last season or just something
Mm,
nuts. And
wow.
he can shoot too. So um yeah, they're gonna be um whoever gets I think I heard somebody say they don't know if they feel like Cam Boozer has like franchise cornerstone potential, but
I
I'm
think he
not
does.
sure. I think I don't know. I think that we'll just have to see him play actual talent, but,
Yeah,
um, I think based on the prototype alone, he's very interesting as a prospect.
I get
Okay.
Blake Griffin vibes, kind of.
Leg.
Yeah,
Not the
like,
same, but freaky athlete, big, power forward. I mean, we'll see how he looks at Duke, obviously, but he seems like one of those, like Paulo, yeah, like a athletic big that
yeah.
you can run the offense through.
He'll spend more time inside than on the perimeter,
Mhm.
like Paulo spends a little bit more time out on the perimeter than I think Cam is going to, but I'm honestly okay with that. Like, I think Cam is definitely more of a like, slightly more bag work as a p or no, slightly more post work and especially mid-range than perimeter play up to this point, but I'm honestly okay with that just 'cause I like guys that are ready to get down and be a bruiser. Like
We
even Paulo was a little hesitant at first.
with this NBA
Mhm.
playoffs, are we reintroducing the 2 point? Are we like is that that's almost like the new um it's almost like the new meta. It's like, oh, if I can hit my layups and my I can get down dirty, I can do cuts, I can get rebounds. That's how you win playoff games now. I mean, everyone can shoot threes. So
Yeah,
it's almost like that
It's
we're
it's
almost
funny,
the
yeah.
pendulum is almost swinging back to 2 points.
It's
yeah,
a weird comparison I'm gonna make, but it's kind of like how like 7 or 8 years ago people were like it's the death of the running back in the NFL, and
Yes,
now
yes. 1000%.
it's right back, and
Yep.
now the running game is the most important part of your offense.
it's a
I
So
great
completely
point.
I was actually
yeah,
exactly what I'm thinking of when that's a good comparison because I was
it
thinking the
always
same thing.
it always the pendulum's always gonna swing back no matter what happens. Some people are gonna realize that
People get over
they're
reliant.
leaning too heavy one
Yep.
way, and they're missing out on another good aspect of the game that they need to focus on.
Yeah, so when I was saying like when you were talking about Boozer with that, it's like I would love my superstar to play on the inside more
Mhm,
than the 3 point line right now. Like if you surround him with shooters, like it's way easier to surround a guy with shooters than to surround a shooter with cutters, especially if the
mhm.
shooter doesn't want to pass to begin with. So um yeah, it's interesting how that is, but it is funny because I completely agree with you, Lambo. It's exactly like the running back.
Mhm.
I remember Chris and we've talked about the running back. Um, and it's same thing with the D line for football. You either want a really big D line or you want edge rushers that are really small and can
Yeah.
get to the quarterback quickly.
Mhm.
And then it just like swings back and forth depending on if the Eagles won the Super Bowl or not.
Agreed.
All right, fellas. I
Alright.
think we covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Hour and a
Yeah.
half, packed pod. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for filling in for Chris.
Of course.
Chris should be back next episode, but we'll have you guys both on soon. Um, and well, thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see everyone next week.